famous, but nobody want to put the work in. Everybody want to be famous, nobody want to put the work in. All right, good. The noon, morning, depending on the time of day you're consuming this. Again, you could tell by the title of this. Another one of those evergreen episodes that we do very, very frequently here in the Move Swiftly podcast, or wherever you may be if you're consuming this on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook. This is one of those channels, one of those people that is as consistent as you can possibly find. And it's one of those things where it doesn't matter the time of day, year, century, doesn't matter what it is. Whenever you tune into this, year, century, doesn't matter what it is, you will be able to get a whole lot out of it. All right, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, just introduce myself real quick to anybody that may be new to my world and get through a couple announcements, and then we are going to get right into the show today. First and foremost, hold up. Let me just get everything set up here real quick. First and foremost, my name, Aswan Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, soon-to-be 6-time published author and educator. What I do, what the business is all about, what the whole Move Swiftly brand is all about, is taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners so they have a group of employees, they have a staff that moves as efficiently and as cohesively and has that passion, that eagerness to them, the same way a championship youth or high school football team would have. We want to create that in your work environment, and that is what we do. That is the result that I guarantee you get when you work with me. So before we get started, let me just get through. So, all right, well, before I get to the announcements, I'll give you a quick preview of what we're going to get today. So today is a Wednesday, and if you are a regular around here, you know what goes down every single Wednesday. The reason I always introduce myself as a 5-time, soon-to-be 6-time published author is because book number 6 is going to be titled, it's going to be all about the term that I have created, the term that I have coined, named Wintrapreneur. Wintrapreneur, being a Wintrapreneur Wednesday. It is crazy to think about the fact that I think I'm approaching a full year of every single Wednesday. This is what I mean when this is why I started off telling you, if you're new around here, you're meeting and you're talking to one of the most consistent people that you're going to see on the internet. Every single Wednesday, we have something called Wintrapreneur Wednesday. And I give you a Wintrapreneur tip, talk to you about the term Wintrapreneur, what it's all about, because it is the term that I have created. Basically, what it means, but it's basically a spin off the term intrapreneur, but it's a spin. I added the W to it because of my background in sports, and I can relate to a lot of sports folks who want to run their own businesses, sports, politics, business. That's the kind of world that I come from, growing up in Silver Spring, Maryland, and right in the heart of all of that stuff going on, right? Basically, what the term means is it's the person who has an entrepreneurial vision for their life, what it is they want to be doing for the rest of their life, want to run their own business, and they've been fortunate enough to find a job that aligns and that is very cohesive, very similar to that entrepreneurial vision that they have. They've been able to merge both of them and, go out and achieve a win every single day, whether the win is coming in the form of a paycheck from an employer or the win is coming from the sale of something like this, where they wrote a book and then they make a set, which we'll dive into how to develop that as well. All right, so we've been able to mix the two worlds, and that's what we do around here every single Wednesday. You can go check the receipts, and sometimes I'll feature some folks. Sometimes I'll see, somebody doing some major things, and actually I have it all right here that you can see if you're looking at this. Virtually a couple weeks ago, I did Alex Hormozi. Actually, that's part 1 of Alex Hormozi. I got more to talk about because at the moment I'm finishing up his book 100 $100 million leads. They had a couple. I had Coach Vassos, who used to coach me. The late Coach Vassos coached me at Stephen A. Smith as a entrepreneur one time. I had not top. I was a top five Tuesday. I had Byron Donalds, the next governor of Florida. He was he was a entrepreneur. So every Wednesday, whether it's myself, and I always tell you guys, I'm the ultimate entrepreneur. I'm the ultimate person that is a entrepreneur. But when I see other people doing some major things and kind of tie that in, I always like to feature other people as well. So we're going to dive in and discuss all of that today. But before we get to the article, so what we're going to talk about is this idea of less numbers will lead to a bigger paycheck. All right. That's kind of a contradiction from what you are naturally the way you're naturally being pushed into certain directions. So all week we've been talking about the numbers. We've been talking about how to interpret the numbers, what the numbers actually mean, how to top 5 ways to judge numbers and what numbers look like, and how we can really decipher it to make sure we're making the right decisions and we're not looking at surface level numbers and making decisions on surface level numbers, but we're more so making decisions on digging a little deeper when it comes to what the numbers are actually saying and what kind of results can those numbers actually lead you to having, and does it have the desired result? Do you even know what the desired result is towards your actions? And if you know the desired result, then you start looking at less to get more, focusing on less people to get more of what it is you're trying to get, which is the desired result. If you're a little confused on what I'm saying right now, it's fine. You're meant to be confused. That's why I'm here, to clarify things for you. All right? But I want to make sure that's kind of a touch on what we're going to be discussing today. So before we get into the topic today, I got to get through these announcements. First and foremost, boxing lessons are back, folks. We are back in business. All right, back in business. So yes, every 2 weeks I do free boxing lessons at a local park out here in West Palm Beach. But at the moment, I'm in the process, as a teacher. I'm recording this at the beginning of May. So as the summer's coming up, I'm kind of transitioning to, relocate a little further south. So Boca Raton is the area I went to. So what happened, I'll 100% honest with you. Again, I'm as transparent of a guy as you can possibly meet. I went to the spring game, the Friday Night Lights spring game that Florida Atlantic University had. And it had been a while. I went to one of their games this past fall, but, it's been a while since I'd been in Boca, and considering the new relationship I'm in now and the kind of house, I'd say I gotten really fairly established in the school system with my books and the second book coming out. And as I was on the FAU campus and watching the football team play and just how beautiful Boca Raton is, I kind of got an itch, got a little itch, like, this could be it. This could be it. And it's different now when you're actually seeing someone and you are making these decisions and stuff like that. One of the challenging things about being an entrepreneur is, figuring out where you're going to really plant your flag. For me, I kind of knew once I took a whiff of South Florida that this was going to be my home, period. But where in South Florida, that's where, again, you gotta work with people on this. So all that being said, I'm back open for business when it comes to the boxing classes. I used to actually live in Plantation when I worked at the boxing gym it's no longer business. The boxing gym named Nine Round Plantation, that is no longer in business, and we've discussed that on this channel in depth. And I learned a lot in those 4 years there. But I'm opening up the boxing themed boot camp again for anybody that lives out in the Boca Raton area. But there's a subtle difference. It's only going to be 10 people per class, which actually leads into what we're going to be discussing today in regards to less is more. Less people, bigger paycheck. All right. Now very experienced in terms of how to put these things on and what it's all about. So first things first, there's only gonna be 10 people. It's only $25 per class, but it's only 10 people per class. I'm only taking 10 because this is my time. Again, it's not going to be my main thing, but this is my time that I need to be there for these classes. And the time frame will be Sundays at 11 a.m., Mondays 7:30 p.m., Wednesdays 7:30 p.m., and Thursday 7:30 p.m. Now, keep in mind also that you don't make the payment until after the actual workout, because South Florida, I've been through this, so I understand it. South Florida weather is very unpredictable. You never know, something happened, rain, all that kind of stuff. So I've made the decision even before, and the objections, right? I've got, as you can tell, the objections that I'm already hearing, I have already thought of that. So sign up now, because you're not going to have to actually pay until we actually do the workout. That's number one. And then it's only 10 people. Also, for the business owners, especially business owners that are interested, that really do have a genuine interest in employee development, there will be corporate discounts available for actual businesses. And this is important, right? Because it's part of what I do. And it's going to be part of the discussion today. If you as a business, if you're having a difficult time trying to, get your staff to work together and trying to, create things to do outside of work, working out together, doing a group workout together as a corporate rate, that is a great, great way of building some cohesion within your staff. I'm not saying it's something you have to do, but the reason I structured my boxing themed boot camp this way is to continuously serve the business owners that I aspire to serve every single day. So if you are a business owner and you have a staff it's difficult to get them to work together and things like that, you definitely should consider doing, a group workout class, or putting your information in, or just inquiring about how to go about, using the fitness classes as a way of building some sort of camaraderie within your staff. It does go a long way. I've seen it. I've done it. I've been in the business. I know exactly. One of the unique things about me is the fact that I've been able to work both fitness, athletics, and in education. You're not going to find too many people that have that solid mix like I do. All right. So that's announcement number one. Basically go to boxing themed bootcamp.makeyourmove.com. If you're looking at this visually, you see it's right here, boxing themed bootcamp.makeyourmove.com. If you're listening to this on the Move Swiftly podcast, it's boxing themed bootcamp.makeyourmove.com. Put in your information. It is really, really simple, and we will get you going. And again, only taking 10 people. So if you are interested, I would strongly suggest that you sign up now, because those 10 people, once we get to 10, we're cutting it. We're cutting it, and we're only focusing on those 10 until something new jumps off, or if there's a new thing. So sign up now. All right. Next thing for the business. Speaking of the business owners, again, if you have not yet, go to free guide. Now, this is completely free for you to do, which is no excuse why you're not doing this. It is freeguide.makeyourmove.com. What I have done, I have created a 10-step process. It's very, very simple to understand. 10-step process in which you could be utilizing right now to make it so your team is moving in an efficient way. All right. Establishing measurables, establishing a professional distance from people. Again, a professional distance, not to say that you can't work with folks, but you need to have a professional distance from them. And obviously doing both of them in the right way and creating a productive environment. All of that is at freeguide.makeyourmove.com. Main website to check out if you just want to do a little bit more research on me. It's makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. You could shop, you could join the Patreon, you could book me to speak, we could simply learn more about this as one Crookshank guy that keeps popping up on my feed, talking business, talking about teamwork, talking sports, and talking politics, and talking business, sports, politics, athletics, education. That's my world. You can go and just check all that out right there on makeyourmove.com. All right. So here we go. Let's get into this concept. All right. Wintrepreneur Wednesday, less numbers, bigger paycheck. Here is an example. I want to give you guys, I'm going to pull up the article that got published a couple hours ago before this recording. So for those of you who don't know, basically the way I run the live streams is I I utilize the live streams as a way of reading the article that I publish right before the article that gets published before the live streams. Monday through Wednesday, there's definitely going to be a brand new article. Thursday is more of a recap day, and then Friday is Faith-Based Friday. So today we're going to be going over the article that dropped that is titled "Less Numbers, Bigger Paycheck." And one of the things that one of the stories that I was thinking about in terms of how to bring this conversation up is one of the many sales lessons that I've had in my life. But the one that gets brought to mind every time I think about this concept of less numbers but a bigger paycheck, it was when I worked at LA Fitness. All right. And at the time I was a sales associate at LA Fitness, and I was asked out. When I say asked out, I mean my car had just gotten repossessed. I didn't have a phone. The idea that I just had a couple months ago to go start up my own minor league football team, I fell flat on my face, lost absolutely everything. All right. Now, the reason I lost everything was because I had this idea, this concept that was going to tie the fitness industry into the professional athletics world. And I was going to try to kind of create a bridge between the both. The company that I started, the name of the company is Gym 44, which actually is not a necessary. It's a company, yes, by the name, but what I've found out to what I turned into, or what it has become, is simply a feature. It's a feature just like this feature I'm using now to get a certain person over a certain bridge. So it'll be back, by the way. I haven't given up on it because it's such a feature that is used. But now with AI and the things that are going on now, it'll be better if I put myself in a situation where I'm educating the right user and then bringing it back out, so the user that I know, the people that I know are going to use it, are going to be able to use it the right way. Because AI is a motherfucker. Listen, AI is coming, and it's almost like a blessing. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a blessing that Gym 44 didn't take off the way I thought it was going to take off, the way I wanted it to take off, because with artificial intelligence coming, and then I bring back Gym 44, man, it's about to be it is about to go down. But the key to it is me making sure I'm in a position to where I can educate my ideal person, the ideal user. I can educate them on how to use it the best, because again, I'm the entrepreneur that started. So anyway, I had all that in mind when I was working at LA Fitness, and being a sales associate at LA Fitness, I had it in my head that I was going to go and just sign up everybody. I was going to really look at the athlete. I was really looking at the gym as a kind of just a recruiting tool, to where instead of having to go work for a team, because as you can see, working for a college or working for a professional team, it sounds good. It does. It sounds good. And now that I've had the experience of working for a professional team, I used to work for the Miami Dolphins Foundation. Now that I've had that experience, and myself, if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you now, I'm a huge, like psychotic fan of the Michigan Wolverines football program. And if you can see what's going on there with that athletic department and the way they're doing Sharon Moore and suspending him 2 games for something that happened 2 years ago, even though we went and won the national championship, you're still going to suspend the guy for 2 games over some deleted text, and then say it's for deleted text messages, when again, I've been consistent, and this was I'm trying my best not to go too far into weeds when I talk about this, because I just recorded a whole 9-minute video on this subject. But again, I'm going to remain consistent when I say Connor Stallions has never made a tackle. He's never made a block. He's never caught a pass, never threw a pass. He was just simply doing exactly what every single person who does that job does. He's just doing it. Okay, now it just so happens that the guy is an advanced scout, and he didn't just work for the Michigan Wolverines. So if you listen to him talk, you would listen to somebody who was just working for a university and was just doing his job. All right. None of it affected what went on the field. So again, if you want to suspend the coach, go ahead, suspend the coach. But this idea that anything happened on the field that wasn't supposed to happen because of him, that's just a bunch of corporate bullshit. And to me, I think what's starting to happen is the issue that I've always had when it comes to working with universities and big entities or working with any school is they're more interested in just keeping their damn jobs as opposed to taking care of their people, which is why, again, took the entrepreneur route, right? So that's what I was using LA Fitness to do. I was attempting to use LA Fitness to, do what it is I wanted to do, which is go and recruit players and find guys to, that would be interested in playing at whatever next level it was that they were hoping to be, whether that next level is college or pros, whatever it is, right? So I would always approach like players, the people who weren't making any money to come to the gym, right? I wasn't going after anybody with any real money. I was always like, the manager when I was at LA Fitness, he would always say, Aswin, the problem with you is you're always going after the people who don't got it. Like, I get you have this line and you have this vision for your life that you want to be in a situation where you're recruiting athletes and you're doing things for the game and all that. But this is LA Fitness. And we're talking about like general people that are, just new to an environment, new to a community that can actually pay the membership. And when he said that, it really stuck, and it really leads me into what we're going to be discussing today in terms of less numbers. All right, because we're talking numbers. We're going to be talking numbers. We're talking about less numbers. It's actually going to be a bigger paycheck for you. All right, when you're talking about how exactly you need to be operating as a business owner, how exactly you need to be running your business. You can't be thinking that more is going to lead to more money. All right. Now, more of the right person, all right, the right person is going to lead you to more money. But notice what I said there, the right person. The right person generally speaking, is not going to be a lot of people. The right person is just like in dating, right? You're not going to connect with every single person. The right person is going to be a select few with a type of personality type that can get you through this, that knows this about you, that has that. There's going to be a select person. All right. Same way in business. It's going to be a smaller number of people that you can work with that's going to lead to the big payday that you deserve. All right. You have got to get that concept so you can handle rejection better. So you can handle all the pitfalls and all the things, all the curveballs that you're going to get thrown at you throughout your business career. You have to understand that not a lot of people are going to be rocking with you. Not a lot of people are going to be aligned with you. And that's totally fine. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing to know you don't really have a lot of people around you, because you know that the big payday is coming and it's making you unique. You have to get this through your skull. All right. So let me get started on the article before I start talking too much. If you haven't noticed, especially regular listeners, I have been limiting myself. I've been kind of filtering myself. In addition to these Medium articles being something that I promote because, I'm heavy on Medium and all that. But it's also keeping me from going on too many rants and going and rambling along too much when I get on certain topics. All right. So here we go. Podcast listeners, I am reading from the article directly. First and foremost, title of the article: Less Numbers, Bigger Paycheck. Let me get a sip of water. All right. Less numbers, bigger paycheck. Welcome to another Wintrepreneur Wednesday. Welcome to another Win Wednesday, where we dive deep into the mindset of a wintrepreneur. And yes, that's a word I made up. Let me break it down for you and reintroduce it for the newcomers. What's a wintrepreneur? A wintrepreneur is someone who has a strong entrepreneurial vision for their life and business, but has also been fortunate enough to find a job that aligns with that vision. It's not just about being your own boss. It's about winning in both structured employment and self-driven purpose. Yes, it sounds similar to entrepreneurship, but I added the W for a reason. The W represents winning. And if you search the term now, you'll see I'm the one who brought it to the world. In fact, it's the central concept behind book number 6, which is coming soon, which I was talking to you guys about earlier. Now the title. Now about the title. About the title. When I say title, I'm referring not to the title of the book, but I'm referring to the title of the actual article. All right. So about the title, less numbers, bigger paycheck. Yeah, I know it sounds counterintuitive. All right. May sound a little foreign to some of you guys, but let's break it down. We've all been taught that if you want to make more money, you need more numbers, more followers, more clicks, more customers, more sales. But what if I told you that real success, long-term, scalable, high-impact success doesn't come from chasing quantity? What if fewer people, when approached with purpose and positioned correctly, could actually lead to more money and more freedom? Let me explain. First and foremost, all right? Now I'm here. And by the way, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Share it to anybody that needs to hear this, all right? So back to the article. The real difference between a customer and a client. This is key. This is key. All right, let me before I continue. This is key. All right, this is the key. If you flip your mindset right now, all right, I'm going to put you on the right mindset right now. If you flip your mindset right now before you go through it to say, I'm going to go and try to find clients and not just look for customers, you will have avoided a lot of problems and of issues that you would have to go through if you spend any time at all focusing on low ticket folks who don't really have the money like that. I'm just telling you the truth, especially when you're on your own and you're trying to build something that's going to sustain you and your family for a long period of time. You got to put your 1000% focus on who is an ideal client. All right. Who is an ideal client? Look at those clients. And when you get an audience, a good number of those clients, then the customers start to become valuable to you. All right. Understand me. And again, I'm going to break it down now. Let's break it down right now. All right, I'm starting from the beginning here. The real difference between a customer and a client. We throw these words around in business, but they are not the same. Customer, a person who buys goods and services. Client, a person who uses the service of a professional or company. I have to repeat the definition for those two. All right. Just so it hits you, bang. It needs to hit you. It needs to hit you in terms of how you approach your business, how you approach your marketing, how you approach what it is you do on a daily basis, your plan, your structure, how you call people, who you show up to be, who exactly it is you are serving. All right. A customer, a person who buys goods and services. Client, a person who uses the services of a professional or company. You got to find the people who are actually going to use your shit. All right. You don't get the luck. I mean, listen, I've been there. And again, I'm going to get to a story in a second about how this concept actually got me. And I'm not talking, like I say, and a lot of this stuff is not only myself, but most thought leaders out there normally are telling you things that they would have done differently. They're giving you everything that myself, along with other thought leaders, were giving you everything that we would have done differently. Customer is just simply going to see these shades or see something like this and they like it, they buy it. All right. Because they just happen to have the money. The client uses your services, uses it in a way that's beneficial to them. So they don't see it as, okay, I'm just spending money on something I'm never going to use. They're actually making an investment and they're benefiting just as much as you are from whatever you got paid. All right. That's why your focus needs to be on clients, finding clients who are going to use the services. All right. Big difference. All right. Big difference. Back to reading from the article directly now, guys. So big difference. When I published my first book, Swiftly, Your Guide to Innovative Teamwork, which you can get on makeyourmove.com, I was the lead trainer at a gym called 9 Round. I bought a box of books and had them sold out in a week. Sounds great, right? a week. And I'm telling you, because I remember posting about this. I bought a whole box. It was a whole box of books that I bought from Amazon. This is the first book. So I'm like pumped. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, there's no feeling. Anybody that's ever written a book, there's no better feeling than holding your first book in your hands for the first time. It is, I have yet to have kids of my own yet, but that is part of the plan. I can only imagine that feeling would be different, would be the biggest, or would be the only difference in terms of what felt better, or making a tackle on a football field, or making a play on the football field, or teaching a kid something and seeing them get it. But holding that book for the first time was an amazing feeling. It was amazing. It was a great feeling. And then not only that, it's a box of books, and the people who knew me for the previous 4 years, being this 9-round trainer, motivational guy and all that, it was flying off the shelves. People were coming in, buying it. Here's $10, Zelle, Cash App, whatever. Thank you, Venmo. Thank you. It was flying off the shelves, right? So sounds great. It felt great to have the book, and it felt even better that people were paying for something that was coming out of my own head. That's an amazing feeling. I will tell you to go do that, and just go do it. Go do that. And there's a feeling there. There's a feeling there that I can't even attempt to put into words. I can't express how appreciative I am for those moments. But it is not going to last. All right, hear me. Back to the article directly, right? The members I had been training for 3 years were happy to spend $10 to support me. But here's the reality. Reality bites. All right. Reality bites. Maybe 3 of them ever came back. Maybe. And that's being generous, being very generous. Maybe 3 of them ever came back and said they read it. And that's because I was set up to land customers, not clients. This is important now. So as I came up with the concept, again, swiftly, skilled, well-informed front team, and you lift yourself, the concept, it fits the best when it comes to employee development. It fits the best when it comes to exactly what I tell you guys every single day. I'm here to help your organization build a cohesive team that runs like a championship football team. That's where it fits best, is when you get an owner that takes the book, makes every single one of their staff members read it, and then actually do the activity that's in the book, which is to add your LY every day, and make sure that it's gauged, make sure it's something that's actually used in a way that's going to help with employee development. Now, the people who were paying the $10 for it, they really weren't in that world. These were, for the most part, people that were employees type. I mean, you had a couple business owners there, but none of these people that were at this gym, this particular location, none of these people had the ability to give the yes or the no, or to write the check for an employee development workshop. Not one. So that, in my world, that put them in the customer category, right? They weren't clients. They were customers when it comes to Swiftly, because they were paying a monthly membership at the gym that I happen to train at. So they were simply customers, not the clients for the intellectual property that I put out. And that's what I had to find out the hard way. It's a difference. It's a huge difference, because again, to pay the $10 for the book, when you ask them, did you actually read it? Did you actually use it? Are you actually thinking about doing something, or do you even have the ability to bring me into your company for a workshop? Now, before I get to the next point of the article, let me just tell you a really quick story about how I found this out the hard way. So just for visual here, I'll show you a image. This image right here. So if you're looking at this, visually on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, I'm putting up a picture on it's on makingmove.com. If you go to the tab titled Innovative Teamwork, you see that one of the images is me hosting my very first ever workshop with with the Swiftly workshop that I created, it was at a Massage Envy, and the person who worked at this Massage Envy was a member at 9Round. This one I did for free, and this is where I knew it would work. This is how I know it's actually something that's worth, planting my flag and making my main offers, because when I did it here, I saw the transformation just from doing a free one. So when I was able to put those things together and see it in my mind and see how it was able to come together in my mind, that's when I realized, okay, that needs to be the focus. That's where the flag needs to be planted, and me being the person that is going to these businesses, going to these organizations, and conducting these workshops and seeing how the results become what the results are, right? So that leads me into the next part of the article, which is titled From Low Ticket to Legacy. All right. Fast forward to now. My business is structured differently. I'm no longer chasing quick sales or book signings with people who just want to support, right? I'm focused on building partnerships with companies who want bulk book orders, keynote talks, podcast collaborations, and full-scale employee development initiatives. Those are clients. And yes, there are fewer of them. But they pay 5 figures, not $10. They actually use what I create, not just buy it to be nice. That's the shift. The difference between building hype and building wealth. Hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me. Get this lesson. Take this one home with you. There's a lot of stuff you can get created on the internet. All right. There's a lot of things AI is going to be able to do for you. There's a ton of resources that the internet is providing that is going to make it so you can very easily slip down into the habit of creating quick sales and quick things and making kind of a boost to your ego because you have a bunch of social media followers, you have certain followers, you have things that are leading to quick success that give you a dopamine hit. But the hard work comes from when you gotta really sit down and ask yourself, why am I worth six figures? The hard work comes when you gotta act. I'm not talking about you asking another person for a 6-figure check for whatever it is you do. I'm talking about you looking your ass in the mirror. It's just you and you in the mirror. Empty room, and you got to ask yourself, hey, self, why am I worth 6 figures or more per sale? Why am I worth that? What exactly am I worth? What exactly do I bring to the table that's going to make it so I deserve a high ticket offer? I deserve someone to hit the green light on a high ticket offer. What is it about me? Why exactly would they want it from me specifically when there are all these people around doing or claiming that they do all sorts of things? That's when the real work comes in, because that's the confidence building, because that conversation that you're going to be having with yourself in the mirror, that's going to come out. It's going to come out in a business dealing, right? That's going to come out when it's somebody considering paying over 6 figures for whatever offer you are presenting to them. It's going to come out how confident you actually are. It's going to come out how much you actually believe in your own shit. Because if you don't believe in it, that check will not come. I'm telling you right now, if you don't have it, you don't have the goal and the belief in yourself, no one else is going to believe it. And you can just keep going selling your low ticket shit to whoever you want to sell it to, and you're going to stay a small business and you will crash and burn. And then the sad part is some people get to the point where they simply accept it. They simply are staying in their side hustle lifestyle and not doing a damn thing to make it so I'm going to be more high ticket with my services and my offers. I'm going to be more high ticket. I'm going to start to put a premium on the stuff I offer because I've done the work. I have enough confidence in the work that I put in to what it is I'm about, to where I'm going to start offering and I'm going to start believing. I'm going to start making it so I get out of this habit of selling a $20 book, and I'm going to start selling $20,000 workshops for the book because I know what it can do for people. I know what it can offer. That's what you got to do. And that's something you got to sit with. That confidence, the confidence you're hearing in my voice now didn't come overnight. It came because tried this, tried that, put this there, did that, tried all of that stuff. And then I started to realize, hey, it's a self battle. It's a thing going on in a person's self to where you can go and get that high ticket off and or you can go and get that high ticket client versus chasing all the people that'll throw you a $20 bill and buy 2 books or whatever the number is, whatever the one thing is, just to say again that they support it. There's a huge, and the numbers, again, this is what we've been talking about all week. The numbers do not lie if you look at them the right way, right? The numbers do not lie. They don't lie. The only issue, the only kind of discrepancy in when you make that statement is you gotta look beyond the surface level numbers and ask yourself, okay, what exactly are we doing? So let's just put this as an example. Let's say I make 3 sales this year and you make 300. All right, let's say I sell 3 clients. I sell 3 clients on my employee development workshops, which go for $60K for the year, and you sell 300 books to 300 different people. That's 300 sales, right? You have 3. Actually, you know what? Let me just do the math. Why not? Let's do the math together. I'm gonna pull out the calculator since we are talking numbers. I'll pull out the calculator. For podcast listeners, I'm pulling out the calculator as we speak, just to do it. You sell 300 times $10 a book. You're getting $3,000. So you have 300 sales, $10 a book. You get $3,000. Yep, you get $3,000 for your 300 sales, right? That's a lot of people. 300 people is a lot of people. I personally sell 3 people. Oh, let me clear it. Let me clear it out. Okay. I personally sell 3 people times $60K for a workshop. That's $180,000 versus your $3,000. That's what I mean when I say the numbers. So yeah, you can run around saying, "Oh, I got more sales," but if you're charging for, it depends on what you're charging and who your client actually is. Okay, that right there. Take that, clip that, run that. That's exactly the point we're making here. Less numbers, bigger paycheck. So let me finish out the article here. So. All right, from low ticket to legacy. Fast forward to now, my business structure. I'm no longer chasing quick sales or book signings that people just want to support. I'm focused on building partnerships with companies who want to bulk orders, keynotes, podcasts, full scale employee. Those clients, and yes, there's a shift. So who taught me to think like this? One of the first people that helped me flip this switch was a mentor who specialized in high ticket sales. They taught me to stop measuring my worth by volume and start measuring by value. Instead of asking how many people bought it, I now ask who is using it. How deep is the impact? What doors is this relationship opening? I've learned that the path to generational wealth doesn't require 10,000 casual buyers. It requires a few committed, aligned partners. So here's the challenge. Are you willing to stop chasing low ticket attention and start pursuing high ticket alignment? Are you willing to invest time, energy, and creativity into fewer but far more valuable relationships? Because if so, the less numbers might just lead to a bigger paycheck, and not just a paycheck, a platform, a path, a pipeline, and a legacy. Period. Point blank. Period. Point blank. And as a way of doing this, and I want to close. I'm going to close you guys out by saying this. Do not misquote what I'm alluding to throughout this entire episode. I am not. If you got a cup like this and you want to sell it for $25 or whatever it is, go and sell it. Go work some trade. I mean, there was a point where I was doing a table setup literally every single weekend. I was finding a table setup every single weekend. Go ahead and do what you have to do, but make sure you're scheduling your time, because the most valuable resource that you actually do have is not your money at all. It's actually your time. Make sure you're putting your priorities in place. Hear me from my heart when I tell you, all right, you will waste a shitload of time chasing these low ticket sales, and you will think you're actually being productive, But the reality, and when you look at your bank account, you look at the fact that the amount of work you're putting in and how hard you're actually working versus what you're seeing on the back end, it won't match. The work that you're putting in versus what you're making just simply won't be fair to you as the entrepreneur that has the gift and the thing that they want to give to the world. So you gotta understand that. Prioritize your time for the high ticket clients, because those are going to be the people that require you to grow every single day. And when you land them and you do it the right way, it's going to be like a well. You just keep going back to those people that you work with that you worked with and you work well with, and then allow that to be the thing that spreads the high ticket sales. So close you out with this. See, Access. Access is a part of a company named Amway. Amway's been known for years as one of the main MLMs out there, multi-level marketing companies out there. They partner with the energy drink. So their main thing is, again, find people in self-development, sell them the energy drinks, and then they can start, slapping their logo on a cup like this and, selling small stuff like this. But allow your big ticket stuff to be what sells the low ticket stuff. All right. So all that being said, if you are a business owner and you like what we're talking, you like how I'm sounding, and you want to work with me, again, just simply head over to makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYaMove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.